Hey everyone, welcome back to another video. As you can see right back here on the second account, decided to return with the start of the new season, which I don't necessarily mind the pirate theme. And of course, with most seasons that debuted, there's possibly a couple things being altered, so you might be questioning what's changed with this season this time. So from what I've seen, they decided to do a few adjustments regarding the Pixel Pass, one of them which is pretty noticeable has to do with the Elite Challenge, being to win 3 matches in a row with only legendary weapons. Before, you would be rewarded 300 gems after completing this specific challenge. However, with this season, they decided to just replace it with an avatar, which you can possibly say makes this specific Elite Challenge not really worth to pursue. Because you would usually do is get these avatars through season pass tracks, and with it being one of the elite tier challenges as your reward, it would practically be less valued instead of having 300 gems, which will give you a little bit more value. Then we have the other adjustment that you could possibly say we're going back to season passes having 2 weapons, albeit one of them being a new weapon and the other being a returning weapon. For some players, they won't be able to see the returning weapon being visible in their perspective of the season pass track, as they already do own the weapon. However, for newer players or players that don't own the weapon, which if you don't know what the returning weapon for this season is, it's Hot Greetings. But the one thing they decided to do with the returning weapon is break it down into parts and have it being scattered around the season pass track. As you can see on screen, you can be able to tell where some of the parts that are being scattered throughout this season pass track are located in, as you're being compensated gems for owning the weapon, which does make me wonder if they're going to do is move forward with this adjustment, or they're probably going to do is make another adjustment next season. One thing I'll say, only time will tell. And I guess that's all the adjustments they decided to do with this season. Not really much regarding anything that's, I would say, pretty much a positive. But yeah, with that out of the way, you already know how the intro goes, so might as well say, let's get straight into the matches. Right then, starting out with the first match being on Aztec Temple. I do prefer this iteration more than the OG. So as of recently, we have one of the more big news that we have regarding Pixelgun 3D, and you could possibly say even for Pixelgun 2, is that we're finally getting a universal login system, which obviously has been one of the more highly requested features that the community has been begging for years. Which I wasn't expecting them to actually announce that there's going to be a feature like that, as I did remember hearing about this a few years ago with them talking about it, and specifically giving more details regarding it in 2025. However, as we've seen, 2025 has passed and barely anything was mentioned about it. Now it would be a lot more easier to do switch between accounts, either by different OS systems, that being from iOS to Android and vice versa, and even with the addition of the PC version as well. Which the only issue when it comes to playing this game on PC is that, as we talked about it from time to time, is that the benefit of starting the game on mobile is for the advertisements that you would get for currencies. And with the PC version of the game, as we talked about from time to time, they don't necessarily allow ads the same way as we have for mobile. So yeah, with this feature rolling out soon, the one thing I am somewhat cautious of is obviously when it comes to this is having accounts being stolen, and which one of the things I am hoping for with this feature is to have some sort of verification such as 2FA to better do is have your accounts secured. Right, the next match is going to be on Skylands. I don't think I better have enough time. Honestly, I'm not sure if it's going to be a good combo using the revolver sniper rifle, or never mind, the dark mage one as well as the werewolf. Could someone too get spam with it? Not really sure how many times this player's been jumping down. Well, it wasn't much more of a difficult match. It was pretty easy, for the most part. For the last match is going to be on Classic and Pole. Because I'm going to be that useful to go after its base damage, as the reload damage can carry this weapon. I'm not sure if I should think of upgrading it from time to time. Also, this man using the minigun pistol. I haven't seen anyone use that in a while. Or you could possibly say for years. It's not really those weapons that are pretty overpowered to even use. It would be a lot more useful as a finisher weapon, but not really for it to be the base weapon to use. Well, couldn't be able to carry that much, but doesn't really matter. I'm going to say that this match was pretty challenging. And yeah, I guess that's going to do for the matches. And I guess that's going to do for the video as well. So thank you guys so much for watching, and as always, have a good day or night. I'll see you guys in the next video.